New Dust was a forgotten place. The wind blew dry sand across the broken roads. Rusted cars sat like skeletons along cracked walls. Old solar panels flickered in the weak sunlight, barely holding on. The people here lived slow, tired lives, fixing what they could, ignoring what they couldn't. Max Reed lived at the edge of town in a small metal shack filled with wires, gears, and broken machines. He was only 28, but his hands looked older. They were rough, burned from welding, and stained with oil. He was the town's only real mechanic. Every day, Max dug through scrap piles, looking for parts. He fixed water pumps, rebuilt batteries, and sometimes traded working fans for food. People liked him, not because he talked much, but because he never gave up. If something was broken, Max would fix it. If he couldn't, he'd keep trying anyway. But Max wanted more than to fix old junk. He dreamed of giving the town real power, energy that never failed, clean water for every home, and machines that didn't break down every week. He believed New Dust didn't have to stay forgotten. It just needed a spark. One morning, Max rode his solar bike out past the hills. He was looking for scrap near an old crash site, rumored to be from before the collapse. Most people avoided the area, thinking it was haunted or poisoned. Max didn't care. He parked the bike, grabbed his tools, and started digging through piles of twisted metal and sand. The sun was hot, and the wind burned his skin. After an hour, he found something strange. It wasn't like the other metal, smooth, dark, and cold, even under the sun. The edges were sharp but not rusted. It hummed faintly when he touched it, like it was breathing. "What are you?" Max whispered. He dug deeper. More of it was buried beneath the sand. Thick cables, glowing rings, and a panel with strange symbols. It wasn't human. Max's heart pounded. He had heard old stories, alien visitors, secret landings, forgotten tech, but no one had ever found proof. Until now. He marked the spot, covered it with tarp and sand, and rushed back to town. That night, he returned with tools, lights, and his portable scanner. He worked in silence, careful and slow. Every time he touched the strange metal, it responded, glowing a bit brighter, pulsing like a heartbeat. Over the next few days, Max brought piece after piece back to his shack. He cleared space, connected wires, and built a frame. The machine slowly took shape, part engine, part tower, part something else. He didn't know what it was, but he knew it was important, and he was going to fix it. Max worked every night after the town went to sleep. The machine sat in the middle of his workshop, now tall, silent, and strange. Its surface was smooth and dark, with glowing blue lines running along the edges. Max had never seen anything like it. No bolts, no seams, no labels. It looked like it had grown rather than been built. He studied it for hours. He scanned every piece, made sketches, took notes. Some parts looked like they belonged to a power system, maybe a generator. Others were harder to understand. A round core in the center pulsed gently, like a slow heartbeat. He didn't know what it did, but it felt important. He started with what he knew: wiring, power, circuits. He connected a battery to one of the panels. Nothing happened. He adjusted the input. Still nothing. Then he reversed the charge, and the core lit up. A low hum filled the workshop. The floor vibrated softly. The blue lines grew brighter. Max stepped back, heart pounding. It was alive. Over the next few days he kept testing and repairing. He found that the machine responded to simple commands. If he touched certain spots on the panel, it shifted and opened like it understood him. Inside were coils, crystals, and spinning disks that floated in place. It looked like it wasn't just one machine, but many systems layered together. He tried to be careful, but the more he saw, the more curious he became. Soon strange things started to happen. One evening, Max was fixing a broken water filter nearby. He connected it to the workshop's power grid, just for testing. The filter, which normally sputtered and leaked, suddenly worked better than ever. Clean, cold water poured out in seconds. Max stared at it, confused. Then he checked the workshop's lights. They were running brighter, smoother. The energy from the alien machine wasn't just powering things, it was improving them. Word spread fast. People in New Dust started asking questions. Max gave simple answers. Just an old generator I fixed. They didn't press him. They were just happy the power was steady, and the air purifiers worked again. For the first time in years, lights stayed on all night. Children played under street lamps. The old community screen started showing news again. But Max knew this wasn't just a generator. One night, he stood alone in his workshop, staring at the machine. "You're not from here," he said quietly. "But maybe you're what we need." As he spoke, the core pulsed brighter, like it heard him. Something deep inside Max shifted. He wasn't just fixing a machine anymore. He was changing the future, his town's future. He didn't know it yet, but far above Earth, something else had heard the signal too. Max woke early, his mind buzzing with questions. The machine was fully online now. It hummed gently in the corner of his workshop, its blue lights pulsing like breath. He'd connected it to a few broken devices. Each one worked better than it ever had before. Even scrap metal nearby had started to react, shifting slightly, like the machine was changing it. He kept most of the work secret, but it was getting harder. People noticed. The town's power grid was stable for the first time in years. Lights stayed on, heaters worked again, and the broken radio tower outside town buzzed to life, picking up strange signals from beyond Earth. Max told the townspeople he found a buried energy core from the old days. They believed him, but something didn't feel right. That morning, Max climbed the hill just outside New Dust to get a better view of the sky. He brought a small radio scanner and pointed it upward. Static buzzed through the speaker. Then a sound broke through, a deep, sharp tone. Not natural, not human. Repeating every 6 seconds. He froze. The machine had sent something out. A signal. That night, Max sat in the workshop, staring at the machine's glowing core. "Did you call someone?" he whispered. The lights on the machine flickered once, then returned to their steady rhythm. Far above Earth, something stirred. In the cold silence of space, a sleek alien ship floated near the edge of Earth's orbit. It had no windows, no wings, only smooth black metal and glowing veins of silver. Inside, tall figures stood around a circular screen. At the center was Commander Vyrix. He stood still, arms behind his back, watching the signal on the screen pulse in a steady rhythm. His skin was gray-blue, his eyes deep and cold. He wore armor that shimmered like liquid metal. "The relic is active," one of his officers said. "Signal confirmed. Origin, Earth. Southern Desert Zone." Vyrix narrowed his eyes. "We left it there by mistake," he said. "It was broken, useless, but now it breathes again." Another officer stepped forward. "Should we retrieve it?" Vyrix turned toward the large window that showed Earth far below. "Yes. Prepare the descent. The humans will not understand what they've touched." Back on Earth, Max slept uneasily. The next day, the sky changed. It started with a low rumble. People looked up. A dark line appeared in the blue, growing larger closer. Then a shadow passed over the town. 3 ships hovered silently in the sky, long, black and smooth like knives. No engines, no markings. New Dust froze. Children stopped playing. Workers dropped tools. The air felt heavy. One of the ships moved directly over Max's workshop. A beam of blue light shot down and scanned the roof. Then a voice echoed through the air. Not loud, but powerful. "Return the device. You are not its keeper." Max stepped outside, heart racing. He stared up at the ship. The machine inside hummed louder, as if it recognized its creators. Max looked around at the frightened faces of the townspeople. They had no weapons, no defense. Just one strange machine and a mechanic who refused to let go. He clenched his fists. "They're not taking it," he said quietly. "Not without a fight." The town gathered in silence. Max stood outside his workshop, facing the sky. The alien ship hovered above him like a black cloud. No wind, no sound. Just the soft hum of unseen power. The beam of blue light still glowed, pointing directly at the building. Then the voice returned. You have activated ancient technology. It does not belong to you. Release it, or face removal. Max didn't answer right away. He looked around. Families stood on porches, afraid to speak. Children clung to parents. No one moved. He took a step forward. I found it, Max said loudly. It was broken. You left it behind. I fixed it. Now it's helping us. There was a pause, then a different voice, colder, deeper. You misunderstand. That device holds knowledge beyond your kind. You are not capable of control. Another ship lowered from the clouds. A doorway opened, and something stepped out. Commander Vyrix. He floated down on a platform of glowing light, tall and still. His armor shimmered like water. His eyes were pale and unblinking. He landed silently in front of Max and stared down at him. I am Vyrix, he said, commander of the Alari Dominion. That device is one of our lost cores. Its purpose is not for you to decide. Max didn't flinch. We need it, he said. This town, these people have nothing. That machine is giving us life again. Vyrix tilted his head. You believe you've given it purpose, but that machine is dangerous. It was shut down for a reason. If you keep it active, you will invite destruction. From us, or worse. Max shook his head. Then why didn't you take it when you left it behind? Vyrix's voice sharpened. Because it failed. Until now, something you did brought it back online. I fixed it, Max said. Vyrix's eyes narrowed. Then you are a threat. Back at the center of town, people were starting to gather. Some held tools, others carried pipes or makeshift weapons. They didn't know how to fight aliens, but they were ready to stand beside Max. A woman stepped forward. Lena, the town's old radio tech. You can't just take what's helping us, she shouted at Vyrix. He's not hurting anyone. He's saving us. Vyrix looked at the growing crowd. His expression didn't change, but he took a step back. You have one day, he said coldly. Return the device, or we will take it by force. Without another word, he rose back into the air and disappeared into the ship. The vessels lifted higher, then held position above the town, watching. Max met with the townspeople that night, in the old supply building. Candles flickered. Faces looked tired but determined. They're going to attack, Max said. We have one day, a farmer spoke up. Can we use the machine to defend ourselves? I don't know yet, Max admitted. But I think it can do more than power lights. It's alive in some way. It listens, and it might protect us. Lena stepped beside him. Then we fight, with whatever we've got. People nodded. They weren't soldiers. They had no armor, but they had reason. They had something to protect. Max looked out the window at the dark sky. The alien ships glowed like stars. He placed his hand on the wall of the machine in his workshop. The blue core pulsed softly beneath his fingers. We'll find a way, he whispered. The sky turned red at dawn. Max stood on the roof of his workshop watching the alien ships hover like silent predators. He hadn't slept. He had spent the whole night inside, working on the machine, learning, guessing, testing. The machine was changing. It responded faster now. Its lights were brighter. Panels slid open when Max touched them. He found controls, symbols that lit up when he moved his hand near them. He didn't understand the language, but he felt it guiding him. It wanted to help. By sunrise, the machine had extended a circular base beneath the workshop floor. Max called it the core. It pulsed with energy, warm, steady, calm. Are you ready? Max whispered. The lights glowed once in reply. Outside, the town was ready too. People had built barriers with scrap metal and old farming equipment. Drones powered by the machine flew above the rooftops, scanning the area. Max had connected the core to old radio towers and turned them into signal jammers. He even linked some of the town's broken defense systems from the old world. They worked now, thanks to the machine. Lena stood beside him with a repaired comlink on her shoulder. We don't have much, she said, but it's something. Max nodded. It'll have to be enough. Then the sky lit up. A beam of white energy shot down from the largest ship, hitting the edge of town. The ground exploded in fire and dust. People screamed and ran for cover. The invasion had begun. Alien drones poured down from the ships. Sleek, silent and fast, they flew low and fired glowing weapons at anything that moved. Max ran to the machine and activated the shield. A dome of blue light rose around the workshop and nearby homes. Drones slammed into it and dropped to the ground, sparking. The machine responded quickly. It extended more panels, revealing energy weapons and shockwave emitters. Max had only touched the surface of what it could do, but it was enough. He gave one command: protect. The machine obeyed. The battle raged through the streets. The townspeople fought back with whatever they had. Old guns, homemade bombs and farming tools turned into traps. Drones were destroyed, but more kept coming. Max focused on defense. He rerouted power through the ground, sending shock pulses under the sand. Alien machines shorted out when they touched it. He launched jamming waves to block enemy signals. Then came Vyrix. He landed in the center of town, calm and cold. He walked through the chaos, unaffected by fire or smoke. He moved toward Max's workshop, like nothing could stop him. Max met him at the barrier. You're too late, Max said. This machine is part of us now. Vyrix raised his hand. A pulse of dark energy slammed into the shield, cracking it. You do not understand its power, Vyrix said. It was never meant for peace. It is a weapon of war. Max looked at the core behind him, still glowing steady. Maybe, Max said, but it's learning from us now, and we're not like you. He reached out and placed both hands on the machine. For a moment, everything stopped. The core pulsed hard, once, twice, then exploded with light. A wave of blue energy rushed outward, knocking Vyrix backward and disabling every alien drone in the sky. The alien ships jolted, flickered, then pulled back, retreating into the clouds. Silence returned. Smoke drifted across the town. The people looked up from behind cover, shocked. The drones were down. The ships were leaving. Max collapsed to one knee, breathing hard. The machine's core dimmed slightly, as if tired. It had listened. It had protected. They had won. The sky was quiet again. The alien ships had vanished into the upper atmosphere, leaving behind scorched sand and broken machines. Smoke hung in the air, but the battle was over. Max stood in front of the machine. The blue core still pulsed gently but softer now, like it was resting. Its job was done. Around him, townspeople stepped out from behind barriers, blinking in the sunlight. Some were bruised, some burned, but they were alive. Lena ran up to Max. You did it, she said, her voice shaking. We all did. Max nodded slowly. His hands were dirty, his body sore, but his mind was clear. No, he said. We gave it purpose, and it gave us a chance. The days that followed were filled with repair and rebuilding. Max and the town worked together to clean the streets, bury the wreckage, and rebuild homes. The machine helped, powering tools and restoring damaged systems. It no longer felt like alien tech. It felt like part of the town. Word spread to nearby settlements. People came from miles away, bringing tools, food, and questions. Is it true? They asked. You turned an alien weapon into a power source? Max kept his answers simple. It's not a weapon anymore. Commander Vyrix was never seen again. Some believed he escaped in one of the damaged ships. Others thought the machine had erased his signal completely. Max didn't care. The threat was gone. But the message was clear. Earth was no longer hidden. Others out there knew about the machine now, and they might come. Max stood on the roof of his workshop one evening, watching the stars. The machine hummed softly behind him, its blue glow lighting up the desert. Lena joined him, holding 2 cups of warm synth tea. You think they'll come back? She asked. Max nodded. Maybe, but we'll be ready. He looked out over the town. New Dust had changed. It wasn't just surviving anymore. It was growing. Stronger, brighter, alive. And so was he. Like the next morning, Max added a small sign to the front of the machine's core room, property of New Dust, restored by human hands. And beneath it, a second line, not for sale, not for surrender. He smiled. For the first time in a long time, Max felt hope, not just for the town, but for the whole planet. The stars were watching, and Earth had answered.